Coach Thompson was an icon, somebody I met in competition at the University of Connecticut as a 26-year-old in 1986. I came to know him much more than just a coach, a man of the people, a man who fought for the rights of the underprivileged, who stood up for something that he truly believed in that would better our people, even when it was unpleasant and not the right thing to do. Unafraid and unintimidated by anyone, he stood up for what was right in all of us, not just people of color. A brilliant man who thought outside the box, something that I try to do today, to speak what is right. We will miss him. We will love everything that he's brought, not just to the game of basketball, but more importantly, to life, to civil rights, and to the things that we cherish most, human dignity.
We truly lost a legend, an icon, one of the guardians of our game, and John Thompson. What he did for Georgetown University, what he did for the Big East, what he did for college basketball was truly a game changer, creating so many opportunities for so many people that look like me. His impact goes way beyond what happened on the court.
Coach Thompson was an icon in the Big East. I admired him as much as any coach, but I respected him more than anyone. His commitment to his players, his commitment to academics, and the growth of his players is something that inspired me as a young coach. What I respected most about Coach Thompson is his authenticity. He was real. Everyone knew where they stood with Coach Thompson. If you were legit, he respected you. If you weren't, he didn't have time for you.
The one thing I love about Coach Thompson, and I'll never forget, is how he challenged the status quo. He did not give in. You were going to do it his way that he felt was correct for his players. He made it about his players. And most of the time as a kid, you would hear like he was a bigot, he was this, he was that. No, he was protecting what he thought was right. Some 30 years later, what we're going through right now, I think he was correct. I think he was more than right. He stood up when no one else would stand up for us kids. He went in and grabbed us out of single parent homes. You know, nobody would go into those hoods and get us to bring us to a different side to see that we can be athletically gifted as well as academically gifted.
I can remember as a young kid growing up in Maryland watching his teams and marveling at how hard they played, about how he held his guys accountable and the connection that he had with all his players. He is somebody that all coaches, including myself, will always look up to as they're trying to influence a new generation of young men, not just as basketball players, but more importantly as people.
In the loss of John Thompson, we've lost a trailblazer, a pioneer. When you talk about elite coaches, black coaches, that has opened up the door for guys like myself. And I always pay tribute and homage to those guys for what they've done. Coach Thompson, in my first year in the Big East, at St. John's, obviously one of the first calls I got was from Coach Thompson, and we had a chance to go down there and practice to play a game. He actually came into one of my practice, and I was on the court and I couldn't hear him, and of course in his usual tone, "Hey, little MF," and that got my attention. My whole team kind of paused because that was Coach Big John Thompson.
You know, Coach Thompson was a guy that had a huge presence. You know, not only just visually, but just you could feel his presence. And you know, growing up watching his teams play in the Big East, you always thought of his teams being extremely tough, hard playing, and they were always the toughest team on the court. You know, he had some great players in Alonzo Mourning, Patrick Ewing, you know, Dikembe Mutombo, Allen Iverson, and they always played with a lot of edge, and I respected that.
Coach Thompson was a trailblazer in college athletics. I was fortunate to be able to watch his teams when I was young and the way that they competed and the way that he developed all of his players. And then was blessed to get to meet him when I was coaching at Northern Iowa when we played Georgetown in the first round of the NCAA tournament. I fondly remember him walking onto the court with me and talking about our team and the things that he liked about our team as Georgetown was preparing to play us on the team that was coached by his son. You know, he had such an impact, a profound impact, on and off the floor. You know, and college basketball is forever indebted to the things that he did to make our game and to grow our game the way that he did.
As a kid growing up in Jersey City, nothing was bigger than basketball. And nothing was bigger than watching the Georgetown Hoyas playing the Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden, led by the legendary John Thompson. He was such a larger-than-life figure. Really became a dream of mine to play in that conference as a young player, and having the opportunity at Seton Hall to realize that dream and to share the same court with Coach. And in pregame warm-ups, seeing that white towel over his shoulder out of the corner of my eye was a thrill and an honor and something I'll never forget.
Coach Thompson was a coaching legend who helped transform the Big East Conference into what it is today. His teams played with so much passion and were so well coached on both ends of the floor. He is going to be greatly missed, but his impact on this game is going to last for generations. Thank you, Coach Thompson, for everything that you gave us and everything that you will continue to give us.